Hello, this is Talk Ripley, and welcome to my Space Raid Concepts for LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed. But this will be much longer than the Pirates version because I actually like space. A few guidelines, same as before. If you have not watched that one, I go over it more there, but there's other guidelines. And moving on to something new, this is what I'd like to see from Space Raids. Like I said, space is one of my top themes, only really being beaten out by Castle, so I have a lot of expectations for them. My single biggest expectations have something new. There's currently very few of these space themes represented inside of the game, and I'd like to see some more representation added, so I would love to see something new be done with the raid bosses. It's not just one of these themes we currently have already in the game. I'd also like to mostly see a bad guy attacking. There's lots of bad guy themes in space, different bad guy factions that you could use. That'd be really good. There are some good guy themes that could be used, like the Mars mission astronauts. They would have some really cool sets to fight against, but I would like to have some more, I guess, lore-friendly attackers for at least for the first raid from space. Have like actual alien invaders type thing attacking Piptown. This is my biggest one. Also, one other thing, because I think I forgot to mention this in the last video, all of these pictures are from Wikipedia, so if anybody wants to know where all these came from, that's where I got them from. I do not own most of these sets. I just don't. Also, one other thing is I'd like for these themes or these raids to actually have some sort of lore with them. I really like kind of the story they have right now in LEGO Legacy, and I'd like to see them kind of add at least little, like maybe short cuts, not even cutscenes, just like a little bit of dialogue to them. Why is this person attacking? Just a little bit of story there. I'd also love to actually have a little bit of ads if possible, so even just like if Blacktron was attacking some of the Blacktron astronauts maybe spawn in, you also have to fight, or just even make some new stuff, especially for the themes that aren't actually added in yet into the game. Maybe taking some stuff that you wouldn't actually get as a full character, but just make it kind of like like the skeletons. You just have them a different model. I'd love to see this. I don't know if that's really going to happen, because people also want to kind of see that for the Ghostbusters update, with just some like basic ghosts as the Ghostbusters skeletons, but they didn't actually add those in, so I don't know if they'll do it for these. But these raids should be a little bit more special, so possibly. But that's just something I'd like to do, so if you hear me mention it, that's why. I think that'd just be cool to do. And I have it here. This is pre the space Q&A. I'm recording this one day before the Q&A. I hope to get it out before the Q&A. But at this time, these are the themes here on the left that are not yet represented in the game. There's lots. The ones next to that mean they have a fix, so that's classic space. The original Blacktron, Ice Planet, Spirus, Insectoids, and Alien Conquest. Ones that have a set is next, that's classic space. The original Space Police, and Ice Planet. As you can see, there's not much currently represented in the game. Also, we might be able to move over the Blacktron 2, Blacktron Future Generation over there soon, because it looks like the unbuilt set is definitely from that, based off the color scheme. But that's not currently yet released in the game, so that's why that's currently over there right now. Also, all this might change once we actually get the announcements tomorrow, but as of right now, that's the current themes in the game. And this is what I made shortly after the game release, and it has not changed since then, which I am sad about as a space fan. But going on to our first themes, we have Unitron. This was sort of the replacement for Space Police 2 as a good guy faction. These were the protectors of the civilian faction released around that time. I think that was Mtron or Explorion, something like that. These are a little bit more weaponized, a little bit more militaristic than the Space Police. While these are a good guy faction, I like to see more of a bad guy. You might could have like non-such go and recruit them as like the space military or whatever to come do his will or something. I don't know. You have him going over, taking over Locust and the other space, Insectoids, Zotaxian invaders, whatever. I mean, I guess it could happen. Or they show up to maybe capture Gorwell or something. I don't know, maybe we're protecting her because you have some tiles of her or something. I don't know. Anyways, and they would work. They have some cool builds, but they're kind of low down for a reason. Next up, we have Blacktron Future Generations, which might be going, why not Blacktron be higher up? They're a bad guy faction, classic bad guy faction. Well, they really don't have that many sets. Lots of these older space themes don't actually have that many sets. They have lots of kind of some cool stuff, but lots of that stuff, at least in my opinion, comes from markers. Markers have made these themes bigger than they actually are, in my opinion. So there's a lot more things you think that exist for them that don't actually exist. Also, it looks like we're getting a Blacktron Future Generations set. We'll look to be getting another Blacktron minifigure from this theme. I think that's just kind of a little bit too much for them to actually also have them as a raid boss. I'd like to see more something else. I think these would be possibly pretty cool, but that's why they're very low down too. Next up is Insectoids. These are, actually they've grown on me. I might move them a little bit higher up now doing this list, but these were some of the bigger sets they've had. I try to do mostly the bigger sets because like some of the small sets I don't think would work well as like a big raid boss, because I mean they're just a little smaller, it should be easier to destroy. But I kind of thought about it, maybe going like, well, what if you had like an alien swarm and you had like the sets on the left there, but it's like there's multiple of them and you're fighting off all of the different ships at once. It's like there's just a swarm, and that's why the raid boss has such a large health pool, as you're just constantly killing thousands of ships or something. Lore for this could be Locust finally goes back to his home world or whatever, gets some of his buddies to come back, he's tired of being made fun of and rejected time he tries to invade, so he's serious this time. Could work very well thematically as a raid boss. It's just there's another theme later on down the line that I think have better versions of these type of sets, being like insect spaceships, and he's already in the game, so I'd like to see more of something a little bit more that's not currently in there right now, but this one has certainly grown on me. Also, the bottom of the box art kind of reminds me of like a circuit board underneath the stuff, which kind of makes me think of a Blacktron level, which I think would be kind of cool. But yeah, that's it for the Insectoids. Although, I mean, based on this box art, I think they can make a real cool level if they got a unique level for them. Next up, we have the original Blacktron. As you can see, the color schemes of this one are different, so these are different themes. So I have them listed separately. This one is still kind of this low for similar reasons to Blacktron Future Generations. Like, it's a different theme, but I kind of count these as a little bit both the same. I don't know, Blacktron 2. They don't have a minifigure in the game, so there's a little bit more to do with them, but they're still a little bit lower down on the sets. But I think this one, if you were to do a Blacktron raid boss, this one would work better to choose a set from. If you're going to have a set from Future Generations in the game as an actual set, choose one, have like the raid boss be from the other wave, if you will, the original Blacktron wave. Also, I think this would still work for like most of the same things as Blacktron 2. You can still have it be tagged Blacktron, probably wanted, do some cool stuff with that. If you're actually going to have these different bosses tagged as such different things, I would love to see that. You could have this one summon in, of course, Blacktron minifigures as ads. Next up, we have Life on Mars, which these, I think they're maybe a little bit too small to have them as like proper raid bosses, although I mean you could make these super advanced or whatever. I believe these aliens were supposed to be fairly advanced from this theme, so maybe some big shields. Maybe you make something original. I just thought these mechs look kind of cool. Maybe you could have an army of mechs or something, I don't know, but I saw this kind of look cool. I believe these aliens were a little bit more peaceful than some of the other aliens. Like, they weren't exactly bad guys. I think there was maybe some bad guy factions within the aliens, but I think this would look kind of cool. It'd be something different. Would love like a Mars level. I like the Mars stuff, so I kind of had this a little bit higher up here than those other things, but these would be something new, and it would be cool to have some more alien tag stuff. Moving on, this might be surprising to some, but yes, I have Mixels in space. I actually like the Mixel line. I know heresy, but I thought they were kind of cool. I really like these builds. Actually, on the one on the left, sadly didn't buy the other ones, but I only bought a few every now and then. But I think these could look kind of cool. Maybe have all three of them on there as like the raid boss, and maybe they alternate or swap out every turn or something. They're not really that big, but I mean they could work kind of well as invaders, and maybe you have multiple of them or something. I just kind of put this on here because I think these would be kind of cool, and I like this a little bit more outside of the box idea here with having it be Mixels or like a completely different theme than just a standard space sub theme. Also, I like Mixels. Next up, we have Space Police 3 with alien vehicles. Now, I don't think these are maybe that high up here because they aren't like the biggest. I think these look cool, but I don't know if these would be fully on raid boss territory. Maybe the one at the top right. I don't know. That looks like the most oomph one, although not maybe like the most deadly. That's something my major problem with these. Like they look cool, but they're not like full-on raid boss territory. But I think these would be kind of cool. You add something else in, maybe probably alien tags, wanted tag, which would be cool to get a wanted space fig that isn't also Blacktron. But what I think would be really the best one from this would be the Brick Daddy's Limo. Have him maybe be like leading an invasion, or he's there to do something. His limo, I don't know, maybe has shields or something like that. I'm sure you can give a good explanation of why it takes a long time to destroy the Space Pimp's limo. Brick Daddy's probably well defended, and I think that would look kind of cool. Being attacked by a space limo, thematically that sounds kind of cool. It's a little bit more outside of the box than just being invaded by aliens, which is kind of standard, although I'll be okay with that kind of standard thing. But so that's why I put this up here. The other ones I don't think would be as like the other. Maybe you have them come in as like summons, or they're defending him or something. But I just think Brick Daddy's Limo would be a really cool raid boss idea. Something different, and I think if you introduce Brick Daddy into the game, he could add lots of kind of fun little lore talking tidbits in there. Like why he's attacking or whatever. Next up we have Roboforce. Now this was another good guy faction, although it didn't last that long. I mean, the 4 sets you see on here are the 4 sets from Roboforce, and I believe, if I remember correctly, they never actually released outside of the United States either. So this would be kind of a cool, obscure theme for lots of people. And they were a little bit more militaristic than some of the other things. I believe I think the 2 greenish yellow ones were supposed to be more militarized ones, and the other 2 were supposed to be more like police robots, I think. Or maybe I have that backwards. One of them was supposed to be more police, one of them was supposed to be more almost military. But I think these all have kind of some cool designs, some big robots to fight. You can add them techie. Maybe somebody takes over them. The robots go kind of rogue. I mean, they have people kind of piloting them, but you can have them move the people and have them just kind of go rogue. Or they control disk. They had like a little floppy disk thing, or I actually think it's older than a floppy disk. But this little disk thing that was supposed to power them, that had all like the robot stuff on it or whatever. You can have maybe that go wrong, and that's why you're having to fight them. Anyways, I think these would be kind of cool things to fight. They kind of stand out. Almost reminds me of some of the Duplo Invader things, some of the builds. I don't know. I know these are more detailed than that, but it kind of almost looks like that to me, these old robot designs. Overall, I think these would be kind of cool, and their obscurity, I think, would add lots of extra stuff to these raid bosses. Next up, we have Alien Conquest. This is one I would love to see. They have some real cool things. They fit perfectly thematically for the first raid boss. They were all about attacking a human city on Earth. You could have them attack Piptown. Only thing, we already have Gorwell in the game, but she's a little iffy to me. Well, I mean, not most people have Gorwell, and most people probably won't really get Gorwell. So she's kind of off in that category. And this is also a like weird combination between the aliens and the humans from that theme too. So I kind of feel like you might could still do the aliens. Only problem is they don't have that many really big sets, honestly. You have the alien mothership, which is the one in the middle. Then that one will look cool. Although it only has, I think, 4 guns, one on each like corner of it, and it has a claw for grabbing people. Maybe just a whole bunch of ads. The alien abductor would be cool, although it doesn't have that many weapons either, but that's also already used for Gorwell's ultimate. The tripod, I think, would look cool and would work very well thematically, but it just doesn't feel oomph-ful enough to be a raid boss. But maybe you fight a whole bunch of them, I don't know. But I do think the tripod invader attacking Piptown would be excellent. Also, I think it would be funny if you have these things show up, especially like the mothership with Alien Commander, and it just mentions that Gorwell, with all the stuff they are in the plot, is just actually a pet of the aliens. I think that would be hysterical to have brought up in the plot at some point, that this all-powerful Gorwell is just a pet for the aliens. Maybe they come to actually even collect the pet. But moving on to the next one, we have Spirus, or Spirius, I don't know. This is the one that Major Catastrophe is from, so currently represented in the game, but also kind of falls in that category, a little bit similar to Gorwell, of like a master store farm, and you can also get them for bags, but just a little bit rarer, so it feels kind of weird to put them down there as like, they're in the game, but they're not like exactly in the game. I don't know, it doesn't feel like too much over-representation of this one thing. Anyways, you have here their bigger sets. You have like one smaller big robot, one bigger big robot, and you have like flying vehicle thing. I feel like we've kind of seen that somewhat designed before, but I think these would kind of work. They were supposed to be actually, I believe, the bad guy faction for that time. It may be against the Unitron from earlier, but these were just spies that like stole stuff. I think they were like stealthy or something too. I don't know. Well, I mean, basic spies. So maybe I just put that in there. Although I don't know how stealth would really work with a raid boss. I don't know. Maybe it has summons. Maybe just summons major catastrophes and you fight like 5 of them, and the raid boss goes into stealth mode or something. I don't know. It would be kind of cool to have these in there, space, techie, something like that. You might could do some fun stuff with some stealth rotations or whatever, but we just don't really have that many anti-stealth options right now, so it might be a little bad, I guess, unless you bought Ghostbusters, but that's why, I mean, I think these would be kind of cool. I think they maybe look cooler than the Roboforce things, or a little bit more cohesive, and they look like they would be maybe more rampaging on their own, not like those other ones actually had pilots, but I think these would work kind of pretty well as maybe some of the raid bosses or something. Next up, you have the aliens, the originals as I call them. These were the ones on the left, I believe they're called Plantamors from the Lego Movie 2. That's technically licensed. I feel like you could probably reuse designs similar to those. And also included the new Space Rover Explorer for the alien there. That alien kind of reminds me of these aliens in design, or well, the build. I know the colors are different there, but just something maybe like this, where it's a little bit more out there, something kind of like original, like Gameloft themselves creates them. And I think that would be kind of cool. I think these look pretty cool. You have it be an infestation if you use the ones on the left. I don't know, they're like pot plants. Have it be somebody planted something wrong, and now all these Plantamors are taking over, and everywhere you have to go, they kill them, and that's why there's a raid boss. You're killing thousands of Plantamors or something to stop the infestation, or make it a little bit more like an actual alien, like the one on the right. Either way, I think this would be a very cool thing to have in there as like a raid boss enemy, something outside of the box too. Not just like a space theme, just something different. And yes, I couldn't include those. Well, also including the Duplonz from the first Lego movie. Oh, I guess also second Lego movie too. But you have them down there at the bottom. That's what they would look like at the end of the movie, the first movie. And then you have the one up top, which was one of the ones they included in the set, which I believe is actually built out of regular Lego pieces. I don't know if you could maybe include these because they are technically from the movies, but I don't think they own the rights to just making stuff out of Duplo and having them invade like the space aliens. So you could probably do something like that. I know people have requested Duplo as a raid boss, and I think it might work have them be almost related to space, like they came from another planet and there's some like weird creatures or something. But I think these could look pretty cool as a raid boss. Maybe not exactly as space, but obviously the Duplonz are... I think a lot of people would want them, but a lot of people also like the Lego Movie stuff. So it's a weird-ish kind of area. Up next is my personal favorite, the Mars mission, the ETX, the aliens. I really like Mars mission. I would love to fight against them. Why are they not number one, you may ask then? Well, because I would actually want them to be in the game too as a usable fig, so I'm not too high on making them actually be the raid boss, because I want to actually have them appear later, and I wouldn't want them to be too much double dipping like that. I would rather have like a little bit more of the other space themes, not just keep on getting the same themes over and over again. But I think these could work well as a raid boss. You have the, I think it was the alien strike craft over there on the left, the ETX mothership on the bottom right, and the stealth infiltrator at the top. All of these were pretty cool. The one on the left, though, might be a little small, but it certainly has the amount of guns. I think it has like 15 different guns on it, I think. 'Cause you have 5 on each wing, 2 on each side, like the top of the wings, and you have that one big gun on the like cockpit. Like, it suddenly is weaponized enough. I think because we have like some stealth capabilities too. Although also in the Chris Alien Conflict game, it was a transport craft, so maybe you have it just spawned in some alien drones or something. But that's what I'm saying. I would hate to have the alien drones wasted as just a raid boss and not actually added into the game as a collectible, well, not collectible minifigure, but a minifigure that can be collected and added to your collection and be used in there. Mothership would work excellently, just have them be invading. It can split off into 4 different pieces. There's lots of weapons on it. It's big, chunky. I think it would work well as a raid boss. And then the stealth infiltrator would also work well. It has tons of guns on it. It actually has an alien commander in it too, so I'm assuming this is a little bit more maybe beefy than some of the other things. The only problem is, like, it has that walker mode, but it only has like 2 guns exposed in. Like, I would love to fight it as that, kind of almost like classic alien walker, but most of the guns aren't usable in that form. I don't know, maybe you have it transformed to attack or something. It's just kind of like one of my little issues with that. Like, I think that looks cool, but you lose lots of firepower. As you can see, lots of the guns are pointed at the ground, unless it's just kind of like cool rocket hop thing or something, which, I mean, I'm sure they could add into the game. It's like the raid boss. I'm sure they could do that. But yeah, this is just one I have very high up on my list, but I'd hate to have it just used solely as a raid boss. But now on to Galaxy Squad. This is what I was saying is like the improved Insectoids. I think these builds are way better, look way more bug-like. I like the color schemes better too. But you have the, I remember the full name of it, but the beetle thing on the left has like 2 big cannons. It has like a little catapult thing that launches like an egg cocoon thing that has like little small bugs inside of it. I think that could work very cool thematically as a raid boss. I don't know, you just, I don't know, stacks of infestation or their own kind of like yellow debuff something. I don't know, make it a little bit more negative, or maybe it does more damage to people who are infested or something. I don't know. But like that one's big, beefy beetles. No, like big shelves. I would expect maybe this one to have it too. Maybe they have some ads of some of the different bugs or something. Maybe you just fight the little bitty bugs. I don't know. Then you have the, oh gosh, the Wasp Strike, I think that was his name, at the top right, something like that. It's like a mixture between a little bit almost like a wasp, a dragonfly, and a mosquito. I don't know. It's a weird kind of combo bug thing, but I think it looks very cool. I think that could maybe work very well as a raid boss. I don't know, maybe they get a little bit more nimble, even give it dodgy or something. I don't know, I kind of think of those bugs a little bit more like that. And then you have on the bottom right this Star Slicer, more of a like praying mantis type one, but just with these big old blades in its hands. Also has a big gun in its mouth. That's the same one that the one above it has for its tail. So they're about, maybe it's equally weaponized. But I think both of those would look very cool as a raid boss. They're just attacking because, I don't know, alien bug people like to attack people. I don't know, give me a little bit of a cooler story. ads could be, like I said, the actual bug minifigures, or maybe the small little bug pieces like the Beetle one launches. That could be kind of cool, like a very small, weak enemy to get through, but maybe each of those has taunt on it or something, taunt and payback, something cool. Like there's just lots of stuff you had to cut through because it's protecting the queen-ish or something. These were just the 3 biggest builds they had. They had some other ones that were like smaller. You might could do like a swarm idea with those too, because they did have those smaller things. But I think this one, the bigger ones, look way cooler. And next up you have, okay, this is outside the box, but hear me out. Space Police 3 Space Biker Gang. I tried to include all of the pictures I could find of these. I know some of them are a little bit smaller. But of course, at the very top, you have that little small bike that has like a minigun at the front. I mean, maybe that's supposed to be an engine, but I would take that as like a minigun type thing. I call it just like a handle basically attached to that. So you have somebody on that one. Okay, oh, now to the left, you have, oh, that's a space bike there with a gun attached to it. The middle one's a pit stop for alien vehicles, but you have 2 sort of like space bikes, and you have that one vehicle with just some spikes on it. I would like to fight that, like a cool taunt payback type thing. Maybe it just has payback on it, doesn't do anything else. I don't know. Then moving on to the right, you have that really big one with a big gun, 2 other small guns attached to it, and like some big jets with flames coming out of it. I think that's cool. Now to the bottom left, another space bike with similar weapons to it. Then to the middle one, another kind of space bike with 2 big old guns on it. And now to the right, a bike that is basically just a big gun with a couple engines attached to it. And just imagine this is like all of those, like, well, we have almost at 10 here, different like space bikes, and you just being invaded by a space biker gang. I think thematically that could be very cool. It's very different. It's definitely out there. Some cool like maybe wanted tags and alien tags could be added to them without actually having to also include the Blacktron. Overall, I just think this one would be very, very cool. It would be something different. And that would give you a good reason of why you're having to defeat, like deal so much damage. It's just like 200 different bikers on all these different bikes, and you could have them do like big damage, because you can see a lot of these things, while being small bikes, have lots of firepower. How many of them will just have like a big old cannon built into them? I think this one, I think of all of them, I'd really like to maybe see this one the most. I would hate not to include any of these alien minifigures later in from the theme, but I think these would look awesome as a raid boss. But going on to our last one, we have the UFO theme. Now this was the precursor to Insectoids, because the Insectoids were actually these people going into hiding for some reason as bugs on the planet. But these were supposed to be kind of like a little bit of a bad guy faction at the time. They were aliens going around UFOs, maybe some little reduction stuff. I don't know. I mean, they don't have like the pieces for that back then. Not like the alien abductor from Alien Conquest. But all of these space shuttles, I think, look pretty cool. Especially the round one that is very UFO saucer-like. And that almost could have like the same classic feel that Alien Conquest does, but just these a little bit maybe bigger, a little bit more weaponized for it. I would love to see these minifigures in the game somehow. I love this helmet design. I like these way more than Insectoids, but I don't know if maybe we will get this one. We already have the Insectoids, so it's just like, this is the, I don't know, prequel theme for it, if you will. I mean, it came before, so it's not really a prequel, but they're kind of related, so like, I could see us not getting this one for a while to get more unique themes. Even though this one is fairly unique, it is very related to Insectoids, so I could see us not getting this one, but having it maybe appear as a raid boss, I think would be a good, maybe almost compromise, and I really want one of those dudes with those helmets. But just like, if you want to have a little bit of an older, classic space theme in the game as a raid boss, and also have that feel that Alien Conquest does with having classic-ish style UFOs attacking a city, I think this would be the theme there. The not that represented in the game yet. It's like a little iffy with the Insectoids, maybe or not we would get them eventually, but I think this would be a good fit for them, have them attack. You might even do some story there with Locust. Maybe Locust has brought them over or something. He's led them there. I don't know, maybe some fun lore there. You hear he's not as big as bad as he says he is. And you have some of these guys attack. I think I would like the Salsa one the most. The other two also pretty big and cool looking. Throw on a bunch of different things with them. I don't know, shields, different ray guns or something. Summoning ads. Maybe even they summon in locusts or something. I don't know. But this one I put out as what I think would be very likely the most likely to get as a Space Raid boss in LEGO Legacy Heroes Unboxed. So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Expect some more coming out later, and I will try to get this one up before the Space Q&A comes out tomorrow. So until then, Tor Ripley, goodbye and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.